Okay, finally gonna do our LTD video. It is a little chilly today, so we're gonna go ahead and cold start them, pull them out, and then just kind of go over the car and talk about a few little things here and there, and we might even get into a rant or two, maybe not. So video's just gonna turn out to be what it's gonna be. I'm not gonna worry about it or apologize for it. We can properly get this deal started off. Okay, it's pretty sweet. Okay, we got here 1985 LTD LX, which these cars originally came with a CFI non-roller 302 HO and a floor shift automatic and a tachometer in the dash if you want. As I guess as history goes, Bob Bondurant wanted a four-door car at his driving school that he could sling around, that was a Ford and all this kind of stuff. You could also use the fact that they fleet, stuff like that. I've seen these cars with column shift automatics that were not LXs but had the CFI and but with the tax stuff, so who knows. All I know is this is what we got. It's not what we were looking for. David bought this car. It was not running, still had the engine transmission. It was a complete car, stock. Wasn't running. He had it, was fiddling with it, didn't get it running if I remember correctly, and found another one, the black one that he currently owns. I want to say out in Texas. Didn't want to have two cars, not two of these, and offered this car up to me. He'd already done some work to it. He put torque box reinforcements in and welded around the plates, and he had bought a fuel tank for it with a sump, forward-facing sump, which is weird. He had bought some frame connectors for it. I think it's their Chris Austin chassis made them, and a few other little things. I bought it from him, no motor, no transmission, and he wanted to keep the console and the automatic floor shifter, which I didn't care about. He offered it up to me for $200. This is back in 2010. I mean, I couldn't say no. I originally wanted a Fairmont wagon. I did not want one of these cars. I wasn't a huge fan of the sloped nose, sloped rear of the car. I didn't love that. It honestly probably would have been my third or fourth choice behind a Fairmont wagon, a Zephyr wagon, a Zephyr and or a Fairmont. But the price, it scratched an itch, and it was super, super cheap. So I bought it from him. The car sat for about 6 years, honestly, before I ever did anything as far as fixing it up or anything like that. It had a 7.5 in it. We started the YouTube channel because of this car. I was going to use the channel as motivation to work on this car, and we started that route and then ended up getting distracted by Trojan, and like always we get distracted by a bunch of different cars. So ultimately the car didn't even, it took us, I don't know, I don't even remember when the first track video came out, which was a mildly successful disaster. We money shifted the car. It was faster than I thought it would be with the original combination. We money shifted the car, hurt some valves, got all that fixed, and the car's been through a few iterations of what it had, and then finally where I ended up where it is now. And it's been like this for about the last 4 years, 4.5 years. The only thing we have done that we've changed on it, combination wise, fundamentally, was we put a different carburetor on it and ran it, and then put the other carburetor back on. So other than that, heads, cam, intake, it's all basically been the same. We had ported GT40s on it at one time with an X cam. We put this cam in. It wasn't any faster. We put the heads on. It really woke it up. So let me pop the air cleaner off. We'll pull the hood off, and we'll just kind of go through the whole combination. I'm not sure how to do this, but we'll just get to the end of the video with it somehow. So as far as the engine combination, it has got a 750 proform / brawler / whatever on it. That is the only thing I've done is fiddled with the jetting just a little bit. Other than that, it's untouched. Actually, really good carburetor out of the box. You guys see how well it runs, and I don't ever fiddled with it off camera or on camera. It's got an old AED throttle bracket that I've had for probably 30 years. It's got a unported Victor Jr. on it that I bought used. It also has a aluminum 4-hole spacer, a 2-inch spacer that's got a taper in it for the 4-hole. So it's not actually a true 4-hole the whole way. It's actually tapered down, and it goes down. The taper drops about 1 inch. It has a MSD dual pickup distributor. It's got a pro cap on it. I bought this distributor used years ago from my buddy Lance. It's got a set of MSD wires that are probably they're probably close to 15 years old themselves. It's got a I bought those new. It's got a used Mazur water pump that I bought back in 2009, I think. It's got these motorsport valve covers. I've had those. I bought those from Lance. He bought them from me. They've been on I've owned them since like 95, or I bought them new in I think 94, 95. And anyway, so it's got a set of FLO-TEK cylinder heads. These are the really old ones. They're pedestal mount. It's got 1.6 motorsport pedestal mount rockers. They're 190, 154 valves. David did the porting. Got that GrindHouse port on it. It's got a set of 1 3/4 max on it, ending in a set of bullets right off the collector. The camshaft is a Crowler 155, 133 or whatever. It's 228, 232, and the lift is in the low 5s. Piston valve clearance on it's really tight, but I am of the philosophy of bigger cam with duration, small cylinder head, turn the hell out of it. So it's got Summit hardened push rods, one-piece hardened push rods. I think they're 105 wall. It has a set of competition cams, short travel lifters in it. I bought those new. I bought the push rods new as well. The rockers were used. The heads were used. David, I think I paid the guy $450 for the heads. They were complete, and it came with. I bought an intake too, with a stealth intake. The valve springs that are on the heads are from FTI, Ed Curtis. They're a set of I want to say Lunati valve springs, something he spec'd out for me. And I opted for the tool steel retainers, which are kind of almost as light as titanium, but have the strength of steel. It's got a race crank pulley on it. It's got a Chinese oil pan, 7-quart standard pan, like a Moroso. It's just got a baffle in it. It does not have a windage tray. It does not have a main girdle. It just has ARP head bolts in the heads. It doesn't have anything done to the bottom end. The bottom end's a stock 95 GT short block that's never had rings, bearings, anything done to it. It had like 250,000 miles on it when it was pulled out. It was a David's son's car that he had for years, still has. And I traded it for some parts to David because I need a short block for this car. It also has a hardened oil pump shaft in it. And that's pretty much it. It's got solid motor mounts. It's got a steel tubular K-member in it. It has ARP chromoly A-arms on it that are 1 inch shorter. The car also has aerospace drag brakes on the front, and I bought those back in 2009. And if you don't know anything about drag brakes, is that if you have standard length control arms, the wheels stick out farther. It's weird. So with Space Saver spares, it's actually pulled in a little bit. With regular wheels on it, it looks normal, like a normal Mustang. Right now it's got a Honda radiator in it for weight. I normally run it with a Fox style radiator, stuff like that. It's got a Dip and Denso style 1-wire 70 amp alternator on it, just because it's like 6 or 7 pounds lighter than a 3G or a 2G. And it's also got a power steering, 3-rib power steering pulley from KSR Racing. It's like a circle track. This right here and that's off of Amazon. This is just some brackets I had laying around in a bolt, so homemade. It's also got a quick fuel regulator that's got the ethanol diaphragm in it, so it won't get all jacked up. It's got a standard line lock on it. It also has the aerospace. I just bought the aerospace brake kit. Me and Yoda replumbed the lines, and I have the aerospace lines from the fitting to the calipers. That pretty much does it under the hood. We rewired the car to get rid of just all the other garbage. So let's take a look inside. I guess that's it as far as the engine. I think I covered everything. It's got a Daco flex hoses, blah blah blah, race crank pulley. It also has a Pro Comp or whatever it is, lightweight balancer on it, and it has an aluminum flywheel in it with a used King Cobra clutch. So that pretty much covers that. It's also got manual rack. It's got a regular steering shaft, or it's got the ones with the unions. Let's take a look inside real quick. In the office here, we have a race column from Midwest Chassis. You can get these all over the place, but this one was reasonably priced. It was within range of everyone else. Midwest Chassis Incorporated. We've got a Jones circle track, or Joe's circle track wheel, non-dish, aluminum, lightweight. It's also got a quick release, not SFI certified, but it is a all-star name brand. This is for the line lock button. Down here, we've got a quick release quadrant under there. We've got a quick release quadrant. We had to relocate the push rod for the brakes for the master cylinder. We've got a old style first gen, what I call first gen, Hurst shifter with a stock length handle with a G-force or long engineering pistol grip knob. I like those because they're thin. I put a little skater tape on them. We run the 2-step off of that button. Ignition wise, it's just your standard MSD 6AL. We've got our 2-step. We've got our module control. We've got our shift light run off of the autometer deal, and we've got a small autometer tack. We've got an LED shift light. We got oil pressure, temperature. We've got our autometer AFR gauge. We've got a voltage, and then we've got ignition or push start. We've got fuel pump, ignition, water pump, fan, instrument, headlights. So we've got all the, you can see over there, the wiring that we kind of did. We actually did a somewhat decent job on that. Interior wise, we've cut out the door bars. We don't care about having the carpet. We don't care about having the door panels. We don't care about having the headliner. I like it to be very mechanical feeling. I've got a fiberglass Mustang dash that I got a really good, it was already cut. Someone had it obviously in a race car. I got it from my buddy Lance. I got a really good deal on this. I paid I think I gave him $125 for it. So it was killer deal. And it's a little bit lighter than technically a Mustang gutted dash. It's probably about 6 or 7 pounds lighter than that, maybe 7 or 8. So I wouldn't buy one of these new because they're expensive, especially once you get them shipped. And the windows roll up and down, yay. Back ones do not. So in the back, we've got all that's been taken out. All that's been taken out. We got plenty of room to carry everything. I said I was gonna take tools out, but this is what I carry. So, sockets, that's wrenches, screwdrivers, the Lexan scoop that we run. We carry jack stands because changing the tires on it, you gotta have the jack stands to kind of lower the rear end to get the street tires out of it. And I always bring an extra fuel pump, and regular other crap. We took the bracing out of the trunk and it didn't really do anything. We've also taken the bracing out of the rear bumper and made some little aluminum brackets to hold it on. Of course, you can see it flittering when the cars chatter the tires and stuff like that. It's got a fuel cell that I bought, I don't know, 25 years ago. The only thing I really like about it is that you can see the level in it. It's also an 8-gallon. We've got ancient, and when I say ancient, I mean ancient. It's actually bent from where it pretty much drug the ground. That's a Summit fuel pump that I bought, holy smokes, ago, 25 years ago. It's got a girdle on it. It's got 513s. It's got some strange adjustables. It's got single adjustable lowers, double adjustable uppers. It's got a UPR anti-roll on it, and it's got a spool, 31 spline, C-clip axles. And it's got the transmission in it is a T-5 that was built by ProMotion, but everyone hold your horses. It's not like it's some super fancy transmission. It's got a regular old 295 gear set, same China/India gear set that you get anywhere else. It's not a G-Force gear set or Astro gear set or anything like that. It's got a billet 3/4 shift fork in it. It's got billet keys in it. It's got a cluster support, a steel bearing retainer, and I shim it up kind of tight. That pretty much, it's got aluminum drive shaft. That pretty much sums the car up. I think that is the combination. It's got an MSD blaster coil. I forgot about this. It's got a fiberglass front bumper that Michael Kelly was making some. He had made one for his car years ago, and he was going to make some more. I hounded him about making one, and he finally whipped up some, and I managed to get one of them, and honestly, that was a little bit of a turning point for the car. I really kind of dedicated myself to the car a little bit because I could get that. So that's about it for the combo. We've got some UPR eBay caster camber plates. Those are not UPR. It's got 70/30 front struts with a 12-inch 130-pound rate coil spring. It's also got bump stop. The rear's just stock V8 springs. I think that's it. So, all right, let's get to two things real quick that I want to talk about with the car. One other thing, the wheel and tire package that we run on the car when we're racing it, we've got a 26-inch Hoosier front runner on it, on a 15x3.5 well drag light, and on the back we've got a 15x10 drag light with a 26x10 stiff wall Mickey, part number 3053S. Great tire. I love that tire. It works great for me. So let's talk about two things real quick on this car and some of the other cars that I have. Weight loss. I don't understand what everyone's problem is with weight loss. I don't understand it. It's twofold. Number one, it's free horsepower. Number two, it helps in my opinion, it helps the transmission stay alive. Helps the clutch and transmission stay alive in the car. I mean, if you want to go out and have a 3,300 pound, and when I say weight, that's with the driver in it. Doesn't matter what the car weighs. Put a 110 pound guy in it and a 310 pound guy in it. Guess what? That's a 200 pound weight difference. If you want to go around and have a 3,300 pound Fox body and wonder why it breaks T5s all the time, there could be something to that. I like to get it light. I don't care if it doesn't have door panels. I don't care if it doesn't have windshield wipers. I don't care if it doesn't have heat or air. Those are choices that I made, and choices I don't regret in any way. I don't go, oh man, I wish I had. I never say that. I'm like, I love the car the way it is. And any of the cars that I have, for the most part, I try and get them the way that I want them. One other thing I want to point out is that it has a Jegs Kirky style seat in it. I didn't talk about that. It has a Jegs Kirky style seat in it with some junk that I've made up to mount it. So back to the weight loss stuff. That, you know, I get it. Guys, I hear it all. You see it, read it. My car's a full weight street car because it's got door panels. You know what? That's your fault. I mean, that's your fault. If a guy drives it up there on pump gas or whatever, drives it up to the track, puts miles on, stuff like that, it's a street car, in my opinion. It's a street car. All my friends, except for David, they all trailer their cars to the track. To a man, they trailer their cars to a track. They will be the first to tell you that all their cars are street cars. And that's fine. That's 100% fine. But I drive mine. It is a street car. If people were to walk up and look at our cars, because every one of them have interior, they would look at my car and say, that's a race car, those are street cars. And yet, when they look back this way, trailer, trailer, no trailer, trailer, trailer. So to me, mine's a street car. If anyone else thinks that, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I built my car to make me happy, not to please everyone else or fit some mold of what someone, the street car argument, you can argue that till the cows come home. Guys want to have interior, that's their choice. Guys that don't want to have interior, that's their choice. Just the way it is. The other thing that I want to talk about real quick about this car is the wheelie thing. Man, every time we put a video up of this car, we get and some of the other cars, we get man, if you could keep the front end down, that thing would run faster. I mean, sometimes people put up like it'd be 0.2 faster or something. I'm like, come on, it's not going to be 0.2 faster. So what's the deal? Why, what's the thing with the wheelie? Okay, here's what happens. You cannot compare what a stick car does to what an automatic car does. You have to separate those two things. In my opinion, they are completely different animals in how they react on the starting line. Let's just get that out there right now. And this is also all in my opinion. So if you don't agree with it, that's fine. I don't really need to hear about it in the comments, but if you feel the need that you got to drop your knowledge down in there, be my guest. So why does the car wheelie? Okay. You've got a couple of ways to control the starting line, if we want to put it like that. Number one, and the most, if you want to call it preferable way, is through clutch slippage. You have to basically slip the clutch to make the car work. As far as putting limiters on the car, yes, if you put limiters on the car to where the car will not pull the front end up, what it's going to do then, it's not going to rotate, and it's just going to hit the tire and spin the tire. And then technically, it's not going to go very fast either. So you have that aspect of it. The flip side to that is if you're not able to slip the clutch, let's just start with how I do it. I can't slip the clutch, okay? The clutch is locked. When the clutch pedal comes out, it hits, it's locked. So I try and control the car's forward momentum with a combination of launch RPM and tire pressure. I want the car to rotate onto the back tire, and as it does, it climbs the ring gear. It starts moving the car up and forward, and the tire doesn't compress. When the tire compresses too much, you don't have enough launch RPM, you got too low tire pressure, it hits the tire into the ground, the car tries to go straight up, it doesn't really move forward. It still kind of does, but as it gets to the top of when it's moving out, the clutch will fully grab it and it just runs out of engine. It runs out of power, and the clutch will pull the car down real quickly. When it just rides out on the tire, on the ring gear, and comes out and settles down, it's on a decent pass. So it's a very fine line because the track is constantly changing. And I'm up there trying to figure out what launch RPM to go at with what tire pressure. And as the track changes, sometimes the other night, I had the highest launch RPM, the highest tire pressure, and you could argue the worst track conditions that we would have of the day. It was cold. There was no one going down the track. There was no sun on it, so the track was cold. But it got super tight, and the car, I needed more tire pressure. So all of this is a learning curve. I learn every time I go to the track. I don't go up there and go, okay, let's just plug this in and it's going to go. It's not always like that, obviously. I struggle a lot as far as trying to get the car to do what I want it to do. Now, could I slip the clutch? Yes, I could put a clutch tamer in it, put the infamous door spring in there. And what that does, just like when you open a door at a restaurant or something, it's got that cylinder, it doesn't let the door slam back close. It lets it open, okay, slowly closes it. That's the same thing clutch tamer does, the infamous door cylinder. What it does is when you let the clutch out, you can adjust the pressure on how quickly the clutch comes up. And in essence, it slips the clutch. And it slips it on every gear change. So you have to think about that too. It doesn't just slip it when you leave, it slips it when you shift second, third, and fourth. So could I use that? Yes, I could. But I have a stock, used, old ass King Cobra clutch in it. And I don't know what you guys know about clutch slippage, but clutch slippage ain't great for the life of a clutch or anything like that. So I could do it. Do I think it would help or pick up a bunch of 60 foot? I will argue that. This car's been 135. If you tell me I'm gonna put a clutch tamer in there and it's gonna go 125, or it's gonna pick up more than two numbers, and when I say two numbers, I mean like one. The other night, it went 138. If you're telling me it's gonna go 134, I don't know. That'd be the best it ever ran. I don't know if it'll do that. So rather than trying to slip the clutch, we try and do it with tire pressure. Now this car is especially even somewhat more difficult because it has a lot of rear overhang than a Mustang. So when we put the battery in the trunk of the car, it's located further back from the rear axle than it is in a Fox body. So thinking about leverage, we've got more weight hanging, so it wants to do this a little bit more. Now the car's actually really smooth when it launches and stuff like that. It's easy to drive most of the time. And there's just, I used to run the car with a lightweight battery up front, and maybe having 40 pounds of acid and lead hanging off the ass of it is affecting the launch a little bit more. I would like to look into that a little bit more. The first two passes that we made at the track the other day, we actually had the lightweight battery in it. Actually, the first two trips of this year, we had the lightweight battery. That battery's it's old. It just can't really start the car after that initial run. So I don't know. We're looking at that some more. Experiment with that idea some more. But yeah, that's why the car wheelies. And if you watch almost any stick car, you watch NMRA factory stock, when they race cars, all those cars wheelie. Like every stick car wheelies, unless it is a super powerful, like Grub Worm, the Minion, some of those guys that are racing, the Dragon Drives, the really fast stick cars. But all those guys have like slipper clutches. They all have adjustable clutches. When I say a slipper clutch, most of you guys know what that means. It's got weights and adjustability to how it engages. So all those guys have slipper clutches. They're not synchronized transmissions. They're pro shifted. They're like G-Force 101As and G5FRs and stuff like that, where they don't even move their left leg. After they lift the clutch out, they just sit there, they like that. So that's why the car wheelies. It actually works really well, but there's not a lot I can do with it without potentially sacrificing some other things, such as burning the clutch up, which I don't want to do. Now, I'm not saying I would, because I have a clutch tamer sitting on the shelf in there, and maybe I'll put it on. Maybe I'll experiment with it a little bit. I don't know. If I had a very aggressive clutch in this car, like a spec stage 2 or a spec stage 3 or something like that, or a 6-puck, one of these grabby deals, I would have no problem trying a clutch tamer. I would absolutely say, yeah, let's take some hit out of it. And I wouldn't be worried about burning the clutch up. So, but with this clutch, I just don't want to do it because the car works so well. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to run fast. Everybody wants to, have ET and be faster and all this kind of stuff. But I also want to have a lot of fun. This is honestly my feel-good car. Go up there, just make a bunch of passes, just have a great time driving it, and I don't upset the apple cart with it. It just does what it does. It run 650s, high 650s, low 660s all day if the weather's decent. And it's a lot of fun to drive, and I'm loath to really mess with that. Now, I'm not saying that we won't mess with some carb jetting or mess with the distributor a little bit, but as far as messing with the clutch, man, I just really don't want to do that. So anyway, I hope that explains a lot. I know this video is long as hell, and I said I wasn't going to apologize for it, but it is what it is. I just felt the need that we could answer some of the questions that you guys give us or ask us or whatever about why the car wheezes or if it would be faster. If we could slip the clutch, I think it would maybe be a little faster. Right now, that's just not really something that I can technically do. And, you know, if I'm being 100% honest, it's fun when it does I don't like when it does the big giant or whatever, whatever. But when it rides that little one out, when it's riding on the tire, it's about this high off the ground, car's super fun. Because as soon as it touches the ground, you pull the shifter and then it just goes. So super fun to drive. Love this car. Wish I had the money to do more with it, but you know, glass half full guy. You know, if you'd have told me when I was 20 that I was gonna have something that was this fast, this reliable, and for me, this cool, I'd have been over the moon. So I don't want to pour mouth about it because it's been a great car. Even though it is the FaiLTD, we had a rough start. It has become a car that I really enjoy driving. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's super cool. It's just a great cruiser too. When I drive it up there and drive it home, it's awesome. One other thing I want to say real quick, as far as fluids, because I know I'm gonna leave stuff out, you guys feel free to ask. Just regular old synthetic or Rotella in the engine. Transmission's just got regular Dexron. In the rear end though, I do run the lightweight shock-proof Redline stuff. Just, you know, it's got a spool in it, and I ain't worried about tearing it up. So I do run that in the rear end. I think that pretty much sums it up. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you don't like me talking, you damn sure ain't gonna like this one. But that's it. So thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the ways you guys support the channel. We're almost at 18,000 subscribers. That's about probably about 17,500 more than I thought I'd ever have. Couldn't do it without you, and we certainly wouldn't want to. But especially, thanks for watching. And until next time on the Substandard Leader and Fox Body videos on this here man's YouTube, 1 year, 5-speed, single plane, push rod, 5.0 Lincoln Town Cars, 4 drag vans, Neo Mustangs, and proud owner, proprietor, dancer. You see, that's smooth, wasn't it? You see that? Yeah, oh, okay, let's hold on. Bouncer, velvet rope, I get confused. Velvet rope open and closer of Club Big Boost, and as always, fighting a good fight against them zombie Mustangs and that rascal Dr. Fear. We owe him some. I mean, we owe him some. We'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.